How you going, people? Man, this was freaking crazy. I mean, good grief. Uh, I just looked at it for the craziness as soon as saw how many shots were fired. But here we go. I'll give you my take on it.
What is the address of your emergency?
Um, yeah, can you just send police officers
I need an address.
22 West Indian School Road?
They still have streets named Indian? I thought the left would be here on fire. They must not have seen this video yet. Anyway, let's go.
Is that an apartment?
Yeah.
Okay, and what is the emergency?
The guy upstairs beating the crap out of the girl, and they said he has a gun.
Okay, stay on the phone with me.
Okay, when they tell you to stay on the phone with them, you don't have to. I've told you that. Say what you need to do and get off. This girl who called this in now is going to be a witness to any court or charging or procedures. And I think they might have killed the guy. I'm not sure. As many rounds they fired, they should have. But anyway, here we go.
Okay, we've got officers already started, okay?
All right.
What's your first name, ma'am?
Oh my God! Get out of the house! Get out of the house! Carlos, get out of the house! Get out of the house! Look, he just shot him. We live downstairs.
Okay, stay on the line with me, okay?
Get out of the house! Get out of the house! He just shot, and I don't want him shooting you. I don't know if he shot that girl or not.
Okay.
Okay, so unfortunately, we don't know who this girl is telling to get out. Is it a boyfriend? Is it kids? Is it neighbors? It's not the woman because she's not. You don't hear another woman. So, and the woman ends up being upstairs captured with him. So I don't think it's the woman, but I'm not sure who she's telling to get out.
He shot off a round.
How many shots did you hear?
He shot I believe it's two so far that I've heard.
Okay.
So this call is going to go out to cops. We've got a domestic violence in progress. Woman heard screaming, shots fired. The subject is armed. Caller heard 2 shots. That's what the cops are going to know. That's what they're going to hear on the radio. So it's going to be, oh shit, domestic violence, guns, and he's already shooting. This is going to be a shit call. So that's how they're responding.
Please say where's the emergency?
911, where's the emergency?
Okay, so I'm thinking they don't say, but I'm thinking this is the victim who was able to get to a phone and dial 911. But I'm just guessing. I'm not sure. I could be wrong.
Hello? Ma'am, where are you? Ma'am, I need to know where you are. Hello? Ma'am, what apartment are you in? Hello? Hello?
I'm always cracking on 911 callers, but this is tough to remain calm and try to calm people down when you hear this. Now, obviously, the more you hear this and the more you realize it's the same people, the less caring and feeling you have. But listening to someone being raped or shot or something in the background usually is pretty emotional. It's hard to just stay focused on the information. So this 911 operator does a pretty good job here.
When the first 2 officers arrived on scene, they located the apartment and attempted to make contact.
Phoenix Police!
Okay, so the cops have their guns out and they're gloving up. I don't know if that's standard now. I mean, I used to have my guys shoot at the range. I would glove them up and make them shoot because gloves can create different problems if you don't train with it. Sometimes they get pinched when you're reloading in a mag. Sometimes if you do a tap and rack with a glove on, part of the glove gets caught. So you have potential malfunctions that can occur because you're wearing gloves. So training with gloves is a big part. If you plan or you carry gloves and you wear gloves a lot and you plan on having your gun drawn with gloves, you ought to be shooting. So when you go to the range, you ought to bring some gloves and try some tap and racks. Try some quick reloads. Try some shooting to see the difference in the feel. I don't think it affects your accuracy that much. And again, in most shit at the fan, accuracy is luck anyway most of the time. So, but training with gloves is important. Here we go. Okay, so when I first saw this guy go here, I go, damn, if this is the apartment, there's only 2 guys when you got a guy with a gun. Normally, you'd wait for additional units. Hanging outside, trying to make contact. Okay, they're trying to see if anybody's going to answer. But he walks by this window twice, and I'm just like, dude, man, you got to be careful about crossing windows. Now, does he want to low crawl past the window? Maybe not. Maybe shoot across it quick and don't come back. But to walk across it twice when I know there's a guy in there with a gun, to me, that's a little unnecessary risk. So what he's probably thinking is, it looks like there's a gate right here. He's probably thinking, I don't want to get trapped here. But he's also set up kind of a crossfire. If somebody's inside who's tactically sound, they could be waiting for him to walk past. And now I know I got a cop over here because he's got backup, and I got a cop over here. So if I shoot this guy here, this guy's going to shoot, and this guy's going to shoot, and I set up a crossfire. You always have to be aware when you set yourself or others up for a crossfire. And sometimes you just can't control it. I mean, it's just like, you know, these people out here, don't laser me, don't sweep me, don't keep your barrel on me, muzzle discipline, how dare you? Look, it happens. When shit's hitting the fan, you're going to get muzzled. And you're going to get fucking lasered or whatever else you want to call it. And sometimes you're going to be in a crossfire. Either because somebody else did something stupid, either because you did something stupid, or because the suspect did something that nobody predicted. But being aware of that and trying to think and predict and prevent it is what you should be thinking.
Phoenix Police!
So he knocks on the door and walks past the window again. I don't know if I'd have done that. So now he stops and knocks on a window. I think that would have been a better option than going to the door, personally. But here we are. Now remember, these cops, I'm only assuming that the other side looks just like this. So these cops have not only got the suspect in a fatal funnel, but they put themselves in a fatal funnel. If when they're here, there's only one place the suspect can come out. These 2 windows or this door. So they know these are the only things that we need to concentrate on while we're out here. So they've set up to where they've got one point of focus. They set up a fatal funnel for the suspect. Unfortunately, if the suspect comes out, they've only got 2 places to go. Down a stairwell or back into probably a wall like this. But sometimes, I mean, you don't have any choices. You go up and you make contact.
Phoenix Police, if you're in there, just come out. We just need to make sure you're okay.
So a lot of this initial contact is kind of fact gathering. I'm trying to gather intel. I mean, I'm not sure these 2 cops by themselves before these other units get here are really trying to take this guy down. They're trying to either get him to come out, see what his mind, see if he's yelling, see if the woman's okay. They heard shots fired. A lot of times when you have shots fired, they've shot the victim and they've shot themselves. So sometimes you're like, shit, is there still somebody alive? Is there really a threat? What do we do? Well, I mean, you got to figure it out. You just can't go in there thinking, oh, yeah, he probably killed himself. Then you get ambushed.
Hey, I'm going to have to ask you guys to evacuate, okay? We got an issue over here. Yeah.
Okay, these people should not have answered their door. They are not going to kick your door to evacuate you. If you didn't answer the door, they can't make you evacuate. I ain't evacuating. I'm not leaving my house. I'm just not doing that. I usually got guns in my house. I can defend myself. Is it dangerous? Could a bullet come through the wall? Maybe. I mean, if I lived in an apartment next to a bunch of cops nowadays, the way I know cops spray and pray and shoot freaking wildly, then I may want to evacuate myself. I wouldn't have to ask them to knock the door. I would already got my ass out of there and been gone. But you have to decide that if it's tactically better to stay or leave. But if you open the door for the cops, you always risk, you cannot shut the door and you will not be able to stop what the cops do next. If you don't open the door, you force the cops to have to make forced entry. And there's rules they got to follow to make forced entry. And because you don't answer the door is not justification. So, you know, it is what it is. Individual. Again, I'm trying to give you more things to consider and think about to help you make better decisions if you get caught in a situation.
Yeah, on this neighbor right here. So if you guys can grab some shoes real quick.
Okay, so it does look like the other side is just like that. You walk up these stairwells and there's two doors. You got an apartment on the left, apartment on the right, and that's it. So these guys are kind of trapped. They got the female evacuating. It's probably a good job. And she probably can't screw that up. So she'll get them out of the house, and you have the other officers holding this guy in case it goes to shooting.
The officers then met with additional responding officers to develop a plan to make contact. That's when they heard a shot from inside of the apartment.
Oh, there you go. It's inside. All right. Hey, we got shots fired inside. We're going to move the team up. Don't get in front of the door. Bunker up that window and take that window. Make announcements.
Phoenix Police Department, come out with your head.
Okay, so there's a lot of cutting here on how I didn't see their entry, how they got up the stairs, whether they evacuated, etc. It just kind of jumps to here, so I can only give you, they're at the door. They are Congo lined up, whatever you want to call it. We used to call it a Congo line, just get in the line. But so they're at the door. They are definitely easy to get shot here. I mean, if this guy starts shooting inside, it would be hard for him to miss. Normally you want to stack. They may not want to stack because of the windows, because you can't really stack in front of windows. If we had windows, we would just skip the window and stack beyond it. We'd put, one or two guys past the windows and two or three guys before the window. We wouldn't put five guys next to each other with three standing in front of the window or three standing in front of the door. Now, it looks like they're breaching. Normally, when you breach, you have one guy breaching, which is the banger or the, who's got the ram or who's got the sledgehammer or whatever, who's going to kick the door in, and then you have a couple guys covering him because he can't carry a weapon and cover himself. So that's why you see this bottleneck here.
Hands up now!
Hey, hold on 1 second. Hold. I got screaming.
Got screaming.
Screaming. All right, move.
Go.
Move.
Go.
Nice and easy.
Nice
Move
and
towards the
slow.
screaming.
Nice
Guns
and
up.
slow.
Look for somebody.
Hey, watch this. That door's closed, so we're gonna...
Man, their entry through that door seems pretty slow to me. If there's somebody in there with a gun, when we make entry, you shoot through that door and you go left or right and you get down a wall. You don't walk in calmly and stay in that fatal funnel. That fatal funnel is the worst place to be. You always minimize your time in that door jam. So when you get through that door jam, get away from the door jam. Either shoot down a wall you can, or shoot down to a corner and sweep and clear while you're doing that, but don't stand in the doorway. That's normal tactics. The people come here, well, when I was trained, we stick together and we work as a team and we have to. I don't give a shit what you were trained or how you do it. I'm just telling you what normal tactics are taught.
Take this one right here. Come to me. Right to the left. Hey, pick up that right room. Pick up that right.
Okay, so it looks like they enter a room with a door. TV's on. When I get in rooms like this, I either kick the cord out. If I can find the switch for the TV, I turn it off. It's very hard to communicate. I don't want to be yelling over a TV or a stereo. If I have to, I'll just kick that TV off the stand and break it in order to shut it up if I don't want to take my hand off my gun. Depending on the situation, but TVs and stereos, big distractors. You've got a blind wall here and you've got a door here. So when you enter this room like this, it's kind of a shit tactical situation, but it is what it is. Once you take this and you have multiple officers in here, this fatal funnel doesn't become a fatal funnel. What makes it a fatal funnel is when somebody's inside and they only have to focus on that door and they know they own the room and this is their real estate. Once you penetrate and you take real estate, you got 3 officers and 2 are down the hall. That doorway isn't the fatal funnel it was, because now you have multiple targets that if a suspect comes out, he doesn't have to just concentrate on the door. So having one guy over here against a wall, another guy here, another guy, and then another guy standing in front of the door would be okay in this situation. But Rick, you always said get out of the door and you shouldn't. Well, that's because you don't understand that tactics change and it's fluid and you adjust as you go. And when the situation changes and the circumstances change, well, then your tactics change. So right now they've got to secure this door. When you say secure it, you got to hold it. So you want to have a couple guys with guns. This is a fatal funnel for maybe somebody. Cops have one thing to look at, this door. So you put 2 guys on this door, and then 2 guys are going to go in and clear this room. That's the way I would do it. That's the way my team would do it. That's how we would clear this room. I'm not sure how they do it because I'm only getting video feed from one camera.
Right, that room is right.
As the officers were working their way through the apartment, they saw what looked like bullet holes in the walls.
I would not be standing here because people shoot through doorways blindly, especially bad guys that don't have rules of engagement, and especially cops that are just freaking crazy. But you don't stand behind a door or in front of a door. You don't stand to where if a guy puts a bullet through the door, you're in that bullet's path. So this guy standing here, not a good move. I want to get out of this doorway and get in here and clear this freaking room. 2 guys ought to be shooting across here, minimizing our exposure in front of this door.
Hey, better get to that door. There's a bullet hole right through here.
You got 3 guys standing here. Look, so it looks like somebody was already in here and this is cleared. So if this is cleared, don't stand in front. Damn, a freaking water heater right in the freaking kitchen. Okay, so right here they're standing and gathering in front of this door. Not good.
All right, move the bed. Bunker up on that door. Hey, take that door.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and the guy filming 6 cops in this small room. Is there a place I could shoot a gun in this room and not hit a cop? Let's just say I shoot. And cops don't think of this a lot, and it's hard to kind of remember this, but doors are human. We see them as a way to entry, and we see them as a threat, and we focus on them. But this is just sheetrock. So if we don't know what's in this room right here, anybody, and as a matter of fact, it's a great tactic. If I was in there with a long gun, I would just put holes through this, start here and walk. Bang, 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 and fill this room. And I would take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cops by just shooting through the sheetrock. So can you always avoid that? No, but do you want to be aware of it? Yeah. Looks like this gun's out. Looks like this gun's out and down. I don't know if this person's gun is out and these 2 are standing right in front of the freaking doorway. This is like, I don't know. This is a tough room. Don't get me wrong, because if they're not in front of the doorway, they're in front of the sheetrock. If they're in front of the sheetrock, they can get shot through the sheetrock. This is just a tough room to clear. Kicking a door right in front, I can't tell you a number of cops. I was working one night in Woodland, and one of our drug guys got shot and killed. And, you know, they're doing an entry, and he's standing right in front of the door kicking it just like this. And the dude shoots 1 round through the door and hits and kills him. And I'm just like, man, what are the freaking odds of that? Kicking and standing in front of doors is tough, but you know what? They don't have a ram. I always carried a sledgehammer in my car, so I could stand over here and swing the sledgehammer and take the door handle out from a side. So if he shot through the door, I do not like kicking a front door. Now, I've kicked many doors from the front, chasing, and they slam the door, and I'm right on their heels and kick them. But, I mean, normally, this is not good when you know a guy's got a gun and he's already shot. I think this guy right here has a shield. But maybe I saw that in a different video. Oh, no, he does have a shield, but he's only shielding himself. This guy gets behind him. This person moves up. Okay, pretty good.
Phoenix police! Hey, you have 2 to your left, 2 holes.
Nope.
So if you notice, these 2 guns are down. Down, they're not pointing at these guys' back. So technically you have 1 gun on the car, maybe, or on the door. You have 1 gun pointed at the door. Maybe this guy with the camera has his gun. It's not showing up. Maybe, I don't know who's standing here. I would think I would see a gun here pointed at the door so you get a different angle. Now this person standing here can give intel because he's seeing this way and this guy is seeing this way. So we can clear a little bit, but we don't know what's behind the wall.
Phoenix police! Hey, you have 2 to your left, 2 holes.
Nope. This is me.
So again, the camera knocks to another room. I don't know how they cleared it or what they did, but now they're at a bathroom door with suspect with a gun and woman screaming, "He's got a gun to my head." So they make a thing to go in and freaking do some I don't know how a cop didn't get hit. I don't know how the freaking victim didn't get hit, but all these freaking rounds, the suspect's the only one that's got hit.
Watch out.
Stop! Here, what? Come down, Here. All right.
How many freaking rounds did they freaking shoot? Wow. I mean, it was just... Now, look, with a long gun and a target within, I'm going to say, 3 feet, it is pretty damn hard to miss. I mean, so this guy with a long gun, I'm assuming the suspect has powder burns all over him because he was, if not putting his gun on him, he was within a foot to 3 feet with a long gun. So the assault rifle, oh no, I'm sorry, when police have this patrol rifle, it's only an assault rifle when pesky citizens have it. So the assault rifle that he used on this suspect was close, and that's why a lot of the rounds hit, I think. I want you to also notice that the sergeant says, okay, and has to stop them from firing, or they would still be shooting as I'm doing this video. So the guy goes, all right. He's breaking that attention. The guy on the gun just went into vapor lock, target lock, tunnel vision, bang, 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 just wasn't stopping. I got to shoot this guy. I'm not stopping until I make sure he's freaking dead. He's already fired. He's got a gun on this woman's head. I do not want to take. So this guy fired multiple rounds. Remember, Supreme Court ruled the fact that the officer fires multiple rounds does not say it's excessive. It merely means his state of mind and the fear. Now, if a pesky citizen does this, it's because he's a racist and he wants to kill somebody. Another angle. Looks like they did go get a ram.
Here, what? Gun down. Here.
So the door to me looks like it opens outward. And they're banging it with a ram at the hinges. Did you guys see that? Let's take a look at that again. These are the hinges, I think. Maybe that's a doorknob. It looks like they opened the door from here. So, all right, I don't know how this freaking door opens. I thought they opened the door on this side, and I thought maybe he was banging at the hinges, but maybe that's a doorknob, and it does open that way. I don't know.
Here, what? Gun down. Here.
See, the door swings inward. So, but I couldn't tell if there's a doorknob there when they open that. Is there? Yeah. Here's a doorknob. So he's banging the hinges when they could have opened the door and pulled it. I don't get that. Maybe it was locked and him banging it disengaged it from here. I always bang the doorknob and the lock. I mean, that's the weak point. That's where you bang it. But I don't know what they were doing. But anyway, tough door to open. Small enclosed area. Multiple cops. If this guy wanted to shoot cops, he could have shot cops with his little purple gun. But maybe he was out of ammo. This guy is shooting through these cops. How does this guy not hit a cop? Are you freaking kidding me? Watch this dude shoot between these cops. Damn! What the hell? I mean, this... I saw this and I'm like, holy shit. Dude, I am never getting in front of this guy. If we're working together, this guy's always in front of me. Rick, why you pick it out? Just because he's a good shot and he trained good and he knew what he... Well, I don't give a shit how good he is. I don't want him behind me. That's freaking crazy to me.
Hello.
Now remember, in the other video, there's a dude in front of him with a long gun that the sergeant says, all right, and stops him.
I'm Ann Justice, Sergeant with the Phoenix Police Department Public Affairs Bureau.
Oh, Public Affairs Bureau. Isn't that nice? Man, that's shocking. These women must really be good because they always seem to get these great jobs of public affairs. Man, they must have high standards to get that. Anyway, I digress.
The information audio, and visuals you are intended to provide details in 20. The suspect involved in this incident has been identified as 27-year-old
Okay, Donald Ward, D. Ward. We'll just call him Dr. Ward for short.
Donald Ward. Officers of the Mountain View and Cactus Park precincts were called to an apartment in the area of 22nd Avenue in 911 calls. A call was received from the victim where she was heard pleading for her life. The dispatcher tried to obtain information as the victim continued to plead, also reported by at least one other caller. No one answered the door, so the first two officers began evacuations of neighbors outside to come out. The officers got no response from Ward or the female caller. Based on the 911 call and the gunshots, they decided to force entry into the apartment to rescue the victim. Once inside, the officers approached a closed bedroom door and forced it open. As they entered that bedroom, they saw a closed bathroom door as well. As the officers were outside of the bathroom door, they could hear the female pleading for help. While forcing the door open, the officers heard the female screaming that he had a gun to her face, and they heard a gunshot.
Who thinks if somebody has a gun to your face that you want 4 or 5 cops coming in with an assault rifle, a patrol rifle, and handguns and firing? They do not say how many rounds were fired, by the way. I was waiting. I watched the whole thing because I'm like, how many rounds did they fire? How many rounds did it hit the suspect? We don't need to give you pesky citizens that. We just need to show you that we saved somebody and nobody else was shot because we're good. Really? How many rounds were fired? How many hit the suspect? How many missed?
Officers fired at Ward, striking him and ending the threat.
Man, if you listen to this woman without the video, you'd be like, wow, man, they kind of went in, kicked the door, shot a couple rounds, killed the guy. Man, great job. Video kind of shows a different story to me.
During the encounter, the victim was able to lay on the ground, and 2 of the officers were able to position themselves between her and Ward. The victim was not injured by any gunfire.
Shocking. I am freaking shocked. You shoot that many rounds in a chaotic situation at a guy with a gun who's got it to your head, and you weren't hit? Freaking man. I almost believe in miracles. Holy shit. There'll be somebody out there. It was a miracle, Rick. So God was watching. Or whatever.
And there were no injuries to any other community members or officers. Donald Ward was pronounced deceased at the scene.
Dr. Ward was deceased.
It was learned that the victim and suspect had been dating for several months, and there was a previous history of domestic violence.
Shocking. Dating and previous history. Who could have predicted that? Raise your hand if you think most domestic violence calls are the first time a couple fights. Well, you'd be like a freaking dummy.
Ward.
That's a good-looking gun. Purple. Wow. I wonder if they're going to auction that gun off. This cute little purple gun looks like maybe it's a 380. It could be a 9mm.
This gun was located at the scene. 3 officers fired their duty weapons during this incident.
Notice she doesn't say how many times they fired it, whether they reloaded. We'll just skip over that fact. Nobody will ask us any questions. When we get to do these releases, we just tell you what we want you to know. We don't tell you the part that makes us look like we're freaking out of control.
The first is 46 years old, assigned to the Mountain View precinct, and has 20 years of service.
So what? I don't care about the cop's age and experience. I mean, they're trying to say this like, hey, we had a senior guy there and we had 2 guys with less than 3 years on the force. That doesn't matter. How many rounds did they shoot and how many hit the suspect?
The second officer is 23 years old, assigned to the Mountain View precinct, and has 2 years of service. The third officer is 34 years old, assigned to the Cactus Park precinct, and has 3 years of service. Conclusions about whether the actions of the officers are consistent with department policy and the law will not be made until all facts are known and the investigation is complete.
That's a good cover your thing saying we don't have any more information, we're not releasing any information because it's an ongoing investigation, and we'll let this cool off until someone else gets killed or there's another riot or there's another COVID attack or something else, and then we won't have to explain and we'll just brush this under the rug like we do everything else. All right? So, look, good, bad, and different. You know, people come here and say I'm hating on the cops. People come here and say I'm loving on the cops. Whatever. It ended well. Sometimes luck's better than a good plan or strategy or knowledge. You know, I don't know if somebody's going to be here saying they weren't lucky, they did everything by the book. You know, that's your opinion. My opinion is they were lucky. All right, we'll end that there.